always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. I hope you're doing well. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a hot minute. It's been a little bit crazy, right? Like we're in Leo season right now, and it's been kind of intense. Leo is fire energy. It brings a certain level of intensity with it. And it's forcing us to really align with our power, so to speak. This energy of like putting ourselves first and really honoring what our heart wants, what our heart needs. Also, we're just coming from Cancer season where a lot of the reality of who and what that is being exposed. And some of it does touch those deeper, more sensitive spots. And we have 4 planets in retrograde right now, so it reminds us to be gentle with ourselves through the process. That was part of just the difficulty with getting uploads up this week, readings up this week. I apologize. That's part of the reason why I'm live. I am going to blame it on Mercury retrograde. I recorded, but nothing was uploading. I was having so much trouble, even just like starting this broadcast. I was having issues with. So all that to say, I apologize. I'm going to be working on getting videos up and running for next week. So stay tuned. And I'll try to upload throughout the weekend as well. Just be patient with me. I have a lot on my schedule right now. Also in the throes of navigating some things that, you know, like I was talking about, Leo season is really helping us get comfortable with our own power. And it can be a little bit dicey because there's a lot of people, situations that are challenging that. But that's also why I like to start my readings off with an energy cleansing. It just sets the tone, sets the vibe for the reading. It cleanses out places where we're feeling blocked or limited, places that maybe things aren't very clear, and that can totally happen, especially with Neptune in retrograde right now. It's also a really great time to set your own intention for the reading, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It is a great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you're just looking for more of a realignment of yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Both of those tools really just help us align with ourselves, tune in to our wants, to our needs, know how to nurture and support those needs. And it really aligns us with our happiness, our fulfillment, right? Like whatever that means for you, whatever that looks like for you. So I would love to help support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, with that, we will get into our blessing and then we'll start with the reading. So let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, so I'm feeling this energy of like hesitancy or maybe a little bit of lack of self-confidence, right? Like questioning of self is what I mean by that. This is definitely highlighted in the astrology with this transition from Cancer into Leo season, because I feel like Cancer season was a little bit about licking our wounds. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, but just in the value that like we had to kind of come back from a lot of the change that's either being forced upon us, that we're just being put through, that's naturally happening, etc. And Cancer season is a lot about that home, nurture, love, support, and so moving into Leo season, it's like, okay, how are we going to build this foundation? How are we going to feel strong, stable in ourselves so we can kind of confidently go out? And yeah, I love this. Sorry, I did not pick up this card, but the cards never lie. Open a portal. Open a portal is that value of leveling up, essentially, right? Like, it's like, I don't want to live in this pattern. I don't want to keep manifesting this thing, this situation, etc. And so I'm really going to try to learn out of that behavior. And it is like, when you break it down on the physiological component, it really is a series of impulses and chemical reactions that we just are like so ingrained in doing that sometimes we don't even notice it within ourselves. But unfortunately or not, this time of Pluto moving into Aquarius, it finally settled there last November. It's going to be there for about 18 years or so. So it's governing the next couple decades, where the hidden enemies are being highlighted, right? Where people are really, light is being shed onto who and what, like people, situations that are working for us and what is not. And I don't mean to be overly redundant in saying that. We're seeing this a lot showcase in the astrology, especially with Mars and Venus being tensely aspected to each other. Mars is in Virgo right now, so it's forcing us to slow down. It's forcing us to take a beat, to not move so quickly, to actually invest in our self-love, self-care. If like you're not really clear on what that means for you, Ayurveda's huge into setting a daily routine, you know, just having the way that you wake up in the morning, how you kind of like start your day, honor your day, wash up, self-care, right? Doing a little exercise, meditation, journaling, reading something empowering. I love this. Leo and Cancer energy, just what I was talking about, right? So that value of like how we're moving into our confidence. And when we have a really good foundation set for ourselves, when we're taking care of ourselves and not trying to like get ahead by manipulative tactics or whatever, which that's not so much of what it's about. I mean, you know, if you're being an enemy to someone, then maybe, you know, maybe you should like take a beat and kind of look at why. But if this is more, I mean, I'm picking up that this is more about like people that you've trusted, people that have lied, that have tried to control and manipulate the situation accordingly. And you're finding ways to recognize and understand your emotions, whatever that looks like, and then put those things into practice, put those things into play. As you do, as you invest in that part of yourself, it is bringing clarity and knowledge. And we've been seeing this a lot in the readings, where it's not an information dump. It's not things coming all at once. It's bits and pieces. We're building that proverbial puzzle, right? To kind of understand what the whole picture has been. And unfortunately, like when we do step into our power, people have problems with that, especially people that like aren't really representing what we want in our life, or are saying one thing to our face and then gossiping, backstabbing behind our back. That was in the collective reading today. Definitely check out the shorts if you are interested. But it had that Ten of Swords energy. That is betrayal. It is people backstabbing. But it's also about wisdom gained after struggle. The swords are like some of the hardest or most intense suit in the deck, so to speak, like because it is a lot about our learning lessons, how we use our mental, our intellectual to navigate, you know, the unexpected things or the places that these types of people situations pop up. And I feel like, I don't know, there's been some delay is what I'm hearing with this Ask the Cards. I'm going to clarify this real quick. But to me, this is a lot about like uncovering with, connecting to your intuition on a deeper level. We see this in the astrology with Saturn, and Neptune on top of each other in Aries. If you're into, I assume you're into tarot reading because you're watching this. But, you know, whatever tapping into your intuition means, right? Like that can be as simple as like saying a prayer, like, please show me, please give me the answers that I'm seeking. And then boom, you get the information that you need. And like I was highlighting, it's pieces. It's not going to be the whole package right now because I feel like there's these tests that we are getting put through. Like, I'm going to see how well you learn this lesson. I'm going to push this button a little bit or, you know, whatever, and see how it shows up. Okay, I love this because there are secrets left to uncover. I feel like this is, I'm not foreshadowing doom and gloom, you know, this is just a lot about, again, light being shed onto who people are. I was just talking about this with someone this week. When people show you who they are, trust that, you know, believe that. It's hard because like, as we're healing, bottom of the deck, we want to believe the best, or we want to maybe even believe that we have some level of responsibility, right? But it really just kind of throws us back into 100% places where people like say exactly what you want to hear, but then their follow through just doesn't exist. Or like when you needed it most. And there is this level of self-protection, especially against people's pride, against people's ego, because that's the other side of Leo energy, right? Like we're seeing a lot of duality being heightened, especially because Venus just came from Gemini. It's since moved into Cancer this week. So it is forcing us, like as we're seeing other sides of people, it's forcing us to say, okay, well, how does this make me feel? And do I really want to like invest in this energy that's supposed to be some type of spiritual connection or meant to be or whatever it is? Or do I want to actually kind of uncover why this is happening to me? Like, I'm hearing this as like being honest with yourself, right? It's, yes, people do stuff to us. I'm not saying don't invalidate what your experience is, because when we're dealing with manipulative energies, it again is that reminder for us to really pay attention and try to be mindful of like giving someone too many hall passes. That's what that Knight of Cups energy was talking about. Knight of Cups, Three of Cups energy. Okay. So someone, just as much as like you're trying to stand in your power, so is someone else, right? But you're coming at it from a different angle. Like, I feel like this is someone who's trying to push you down in order to get ahead. Someone who's very emotional about the steps that you're taking. There is this slight ignorance. I don't know. This actually kind of goes back to this secret keeper spirit talk energy. I'm feeling like as much as whatever this is that you're dealing with is making you emotional, Spirit wants you to pay attention to the emotions. For some reason, it's hard for you to go there. It's hard for you to go there because it's looking or it's seeing that person's situation through a completely different lens. Through a lens, like I was just saying, that really might be hard to look at. Like sometimes, because this reminds me of that value of like, You know, sometimes we can even like see how messed up something is on the surface, but then like, but we can turn a blind eye, or like, well, maybe they didn't mean that. Give them, you know, like I was saying, those hall passes, because it does feel a little bit scary. It does feel a little bit untethered. And this reminds me of an energy of someone who is working to really manipulate, and especially emotionally manipulate, with that King of Cups energy. It feels like they're watching you. They're watching what you do, your moves. And they don't really realize, like, I think just kind of where you're at, you have this level of innocence or naivete. I feel like that's kind of why it's hard to connect to your power right now, or why you're feeling a little bit like Bambi energy, right? When Bambi's first born, has like the wobbly legs and can't really get up. That's what I keep hearing with this Fool energy. It's not a bad thing. It's just like you're on a new path, like you're learning something new. And so you have to get acclimated. But because of whomever this person's situation is that's triggering these feelings, it's making it really hard to feel solid or feel confident about what things are going to look like moving forward. And in reality, I feel like you have the answers on some level. Or if you don't feel like you do in this present moment, it goes back to what I was talking about in the very beginning. That importance of having some type of self-care routine, whatever that means. It doesn't just have to be like physical, but I'm really looking at this as mental and emotional, because this level of being on the defensive hasn't really gotten you anywhere. Or I think a lot of it is actually connected to whatever this is that you're dealing with. It's something that has put you on the defensive, again, because of the way that the manipulation happens. And you are trying to break free from this, but as you keep plugging forward, even if you don't necessarily have a game plan in mind, they're seeing this. Like, this is someone who's very aware of the changes that you're making. And what I like for your energy, what it says that you're doing well, is you're continuing, even though they're trying to provoke, maybe using different tactics, different mechanisms to get there, you're still slowly plugging away. You're still putting the value, the emphasis within yourself, whatever you're going after, whatever you're trying to achieve. You're still believing in yourself, even if it feels like unsteady, like I was talking about earlier. It is why this Leo season feels a little bit unstable, because like we know we have the confidence, we want to display that confidence, but then when it actually comes to it, whatever you're dealing with, whoever you're dealing with, is either making it about them, I'm hearing for some of you, or like really working hard to kind of push your buttons or get certain responses out of you. Yeah, responses out of you that they're not used to getting, right? Or that they were used to getting, and present day they're not getting anymore. This is someone who's like ready to either ghost, leave the situation, set up boundaries. And I feel like this is happening sooner than later. As I was looking at the energy, preparing for this reading beforehand, it is this value of like trusting the process. We also got that in our collective, trusting the process. I know that's so cliche, but you already are innately doing it with this Fool energy. You're already able to trust yourself enough to keep moving forward, even if you feel like it's not clear. And some of that really is that Neptune in retrograde, where it's like we have to see without seeing, see through your third eye, your spiritual eye, however you understand it, or God give me the direction, to know what the right path is, or whatever that is for you, whatever that hope, that desire, that prayer, that manifestation is for you. It is requiring resilience, because someone does know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know how to push. They know how to provoke. And they're unafraid to do it 100% with this Seven of Swords. And whatever you've rejected in the past because of the emotional component that goes into this. The moon has been tensely aspected. It changes all the time. Obviously, its cycles are pretty regular, as we all know. We are building up to a full moon, though, so that kind of just confirms some of the emotionality that's been unleashed. Venus has been tensely aspected. Mars has been tensely aspected. So we have our work laid out for us. And good, bad, right, or wrong, I don't know. You know, like I think there is, well, Ayurveda really talks about the value of work and rest, having balance, equality within those things, because that actually makes manifestation or getting over these things way easier, right? Moving through them. And here's the thing, like, it's moving in a direction that eventually, whatever this is, because this person's situation is so concerned with like how they come out of it, whether they come out on top or not, it's already leading to closure, right? Like it's already in that progress of maybe even spaces that you've wanted to see that happen. You've wanted to actually like be in that already and it just hasn't, which I know can be like really annoying. But as it takes time, take a breath, right? Like when things are slow, when there's not a lot of activity, or you have time to just nurture yourself, remember all those, you know, values that you kind of learned through that Cancer season. What it actually means to love, emotionally support your heart, your mind, your soul. And again, that's where that like self-care plays a huge role into building that strong foundation. And we can't really avoid it. I mean, 100%, like it's an uphill battle right now, 100%. But that's life, right? Like, and Maharishi Ayurveda looks at struggle as the catalyst for change. So when we come up against something that is difficult, that is challenging, it's forcing us to overcome so that we can have betterment. We might not see it on this side of the coin. And it is time to connect. I mean, connecting with the right people is what I'm hearing. And I feel like that's kind of what you're figuring out right now, who and what that is. I feel like you're taking some of these lessons that you've been learning in the process, gaining that knowledge. There is a little bit of fear because of like whatever you have been dealing with today. There is a little bit of fear, this Seven of Swords energy. Like, am I going to walk back into that thing again, you know? But at the same time, yeah, it's like burning away this chaos is what I'm hearing. And I feel like a lot of this chaos has come because whomever, whatever it is, they just like can't manage themselves, right? And so whether it gets projected onto you or, you know, they're smearing your name in the background or, you know, like creating lies, whatever, it feels very much like you're overcoming this. It's been a huge process. It's been not easy. And I feel like Leo season is, like I said, it's really helping us acclimate back into our power, back into our strength. This is about cultivating that resilience against the things that are so intrinsically working against us, right? This is not just like, this is like the people, the dynamics that are like putting up these Five of Swords energies. I'm not gonna, you know, work with you. It's not reciprocity. It's not give and take. It's just like, no, it's my way or the highway. And you are being resilient in this process. It's not easy because I feel like you are kind of dodging a lot of bullets, so to speak, right? Like when one gets put out, the other comes up, you know? Fires is probably a better analogy. Okay, thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you know, you found messages that resonated here for you. Definitely drop comments if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. I'm really sorry that, you know, it's been a little quiet around here, but I appreciate all you bring my way. Know it honors, blesses my heart, and I am sending that love and blessings back to you.